Today, we're going to talk about if you can lose belly fat on a plant-based diet and determine how this actually works. So, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Dr. Lori Marbus. I'm a board-certified family and lifestyle medicine physician who has specialized in the plant-based diet for at least 13 years of my 20 plus years as a physician. I am licensed in all 50 states. I've seen plant-based patients in every single state and DC. So I feel rather qualified to talk about the plant-based diet and all the amazing things that can work for you. And also, by the way, there's links below. If you're interested in the Healing Kitchen run by myself and Brittany Giroudi, we meet weekly. We have workshops. It's a great place, great community. And also, we just launched the pre-order for our Plant-Based 101 book. Check it out, link below. Would love to have you. It's the ultimate guide to managing a plant-based diet or mastering the plant-based diet. I put all my knowledge of the last 13 years of being a plant-based physician into this book, so I'm hoping it will help you. So let's dive right in to this really important topic because, first of all, why does belly fat even matter? Should you even be concerned about? Well, remember, belly fat is more than aesthetic concern, right? It's a warning sign of much deeper health risk. The excess abdominal fat, especially what we describe as visceral fat that kind of surrounds your organs, is linked to conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and metabolic syndrome. Insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and hormonal imbalances are really key drivers of belly fat. However, scientific evidence shows that a plant-based diet can absolutely effectively address the root causes, leading to fat loss and ultimately improved overall health. So let's talk a little bit about the science behind belly fat and plant-based diets. Number one is insulin resistance. It's a major cause of belly fat. So first of all, insulin resistance occurs when your cells become less responsive to the hormone insulin, which is responsible for regulating blood sugar levels. Now, this causes your body to produce more insulin, promoting fat storage, especially around the abdomen, especially if you're in the perimenopause and menopause timeframe, because there's some more hormones at play there. But over time, insulin resistance can lead to complications like type 2 diabetes and other metabolic kind of complications. So plant-based diets can improve your insulin sensitivity by replacing processed foods and refined carbohydrates with fiber-rich whole foods. Now, these foods slow down the absorption of glucose, they stabilize your blood sugars, and reduce the insulin spikes that lead to fat storage. So additionally, plant-based diets are naturally low in saturated fats, which have been shown to worsen insulin resistance. Now, what does the science say exactly? Well, studies have consistently shown that individuals following a plant-based diet have better insulin sensitivity, reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes, and then these diets also help reduce fasting blood sugar levels and improve your weight management. So how do you get started here? Well, I would start adding in more things like whole grains, like oats or quinoa, and along with legumes or beans like chickpeas and lentils. They promote that steady blood sugar level and combat insulin resistance. Really quick story. I had a patient, goodness, the first year I went to a whole food plant-based diet, we ended up stopping 60 units of insulin within 3 days of starting a whole food plant-based diet. That is when I understood the power of plants with improving blood sugar. Now, it becomes more nuanced in certain patients. I seem to attract patients in my practice. I've had a very good and successful practice helping people who maybe are done pretty well on a plant-based diet, but they like to do better, and maybe their cholesterol's a little high. We tweak it, they get better, blood sugars improve, maybe they stall on their weight loss. Absolutely understand all the mechanisms here to involve. So definitely bring in more of those whole grains and legumes. You know, I always tell patients as well, greens and beans, they're like your fat fighting machines. Take that for what it's worth there. Number two is inflammation. This really is the silent driver of fat storage, right? So chronic inflammation fuels insulin resistance and then encourages the storage of the visceral fat. And so it's often triggered by a diet high in what we describe as refined sugars, trans fats, and ultra-processed foods. Now, the plant-based diets, they are rich in antioxidants and phytonutrients, which combat inflammation by neutralizing what we describe as harmful free radicals. Foods like dark green leafies, berries, and nuts and seeds, they contain the anti-inflammatory compounds that can lower levels of cytokines, which are proteins that promote inflammation. So what does the science say? Well, there was a 2020 review found that plant-based diets reduce inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, which are associated with obesity and belly fat. Here's an actionable tip. Add anti-inflammatory foods to your meals like turmeric spice lentils or a berry-packed smoothie. Another quick patient story here. When before I even started a plant-based diet 13 some odd years, just about 13 years ago, I had some patient encounters which is what led me to change my diet. And one of those patients had lupus, and she was 50 pounds overweight. She was on 12 different medications for lupus and was very ill, just not feeling well. She was on high doses of oral steroids. She was on methotrexate, which is a immune suppressing type medication. And her inflammatory markers were very high. They were 3 times high normal. And when she came to me one day, I talked to her about changing her diet because I was reading about the anti-inflammatory components of a plant-based diet, and she agreed to. What was remarkable was that 2 weeks later, we checked her CRP that first day, and 2 weeks later, it had dropped 300%, her CRP. And she had lost 8 pounds, her headaches disappeared, and fast forward 5 months, she was off 7 of those 12 medications and lost 50 pounds. So it was remarkable to me to see someone lose weight, improve their health conditions, stop medications strictly by changing what was on the end of their fork. Okay, that's just one story. There's many more, but that's the one that really got my attention. Well, one of them. Number 3 is hormones. So regulating cortisol and insulin for belly fat loss. Let's talk about this. Chronic stress increases cortisol. It's a hormone that signals the body to store fat, and particularly around the abdomen. So elevated insulin levels due to insulin resistance further, of course, exacerbate fat accumulation. And so by improving sensitivity, your insulin sensitivity, and lowering the cortisol spiking processed foods, the plant-based diets can absolutely restore your hormone balance. And paying attention to mindfulness and decreasing your stress, taking time to meditate or do something that helps you understand how you can deal with stress better. I can do a whole hour upon hour talking about the mindfulness piece and how important that is. And you're like, what is mindfulness? Well, I would start by, if you're having a lot of stress, checking out the book called Unwinding Anxiety by my good friend, Dr. Judd Brewer. Fantastic science behind this, but looking at how we use mindfulness to break the cycle of anxiety. Absolutely worth checking it out. But what does the science say about the certain hormones regulation? Well, plant-based diets are rich in magnesium from the dark green leafies, the nuts and seeds, and that may help lower cortisol levels and promote relaxation. It also can help promote sleep, which also is important for better mood regulation as the next day comes. Because if you're not sleep deprived, you're more likely prepared to deal with what life can throw at you. At the same time, fiber in plants helps prevent the blood sugar spikes that can cause insulin overproduction. So again, remember, fiber, I did a pretty decent video yesterday about fiber and weight loss, so I definitely check that out. It talks all about how that works. What's your actionable tip here? I would include magnesium-rich foods like spinach, pumpkin seeds, and avocados in your diet to promote or support hormone regulation. Number 4 is calorie density. This is where you hear people say eat more, weigh less, because plant-based diets emphasize low-calorie dense foods such as vegetables, fruits, and legumes. Now, those foods allow you to eat large portions without over-consuming or having excess calories. That really helps you, if you have significant weight to lose, helps you achieve a caloric deficit for fat loss. They also help you reduce reliance on those high-calorie dense foods like oils and processed snacks, ultra-processed snacks, which can really sabotage your weight loss efforts. So what does the science say? So research shows that calorie density is one of the most effective strategies for weight loss. By focusing on the whole unprocessed foods, the plant-based diet really creates satiety while naturally reducing your caloric intake. Now, of course, there are some things you want to be mindful of is, avocados and nuts and seeds are very calorically dense. I don't tell people to stop eating those. It's really important that you do consume some nuts and seeds because these have very valuable minerals. They promote satiety. They're high in protein. So if you're a woman looking to lose weight, I would say no more than a handful of nuts and seeds per day. And if you're a man, you could either do a quarter cup for the woman, if I didn't say that. And for the men, a quarter cup to half a cup, again, depending on the amount of weight loss that you need to have. Some people may see this, and I always get comments, but I can't keep weight on, or I've lost too much weight on a plant-based diet. That's when you would want to eat more of those calorically dense foods. But if you're looking to lose weight, and you still want to get the benefits of the nuts and seeds, which are great for heart health, which decrease your cholesterol. There's so many things that come with there's so many benefits that come with eating nuts and seeds. So basically, you may want to, an actionable tip would be replace calorie dense like oils, for examples, because there's 120 calories per tablespoon of oil, which is crazy. It's liquid fat, basically. It's a processed food. You want to replace that with the whole food fats like avocados or tahini. Again, you could use mashed avocado instead of oil-based dressings for a salad. Now, what works? Here again, I'm just going to summarize. Number one is target insulin resistance with fiber-rich foods, right? Remember, fiber stabilizes blood sugar and improves your insulin sensitivity. Include beans, lentils, and whole grains in your meals to tackle the issue at its root. Number two, fight inflammation with antioxidant-rich ingredients. Incorporate turmeric, berries, leafy greens, and nuts and seeds to lower inflammation and support your fat loss. Number three is focus on protein-packed plant foods. So protein-rich foods like tofu, tempeh, and quinoa promote muscle retention and enhance fat burning. Number four, swap oils for the whole food fats. So instead of calorie-dense oils, opt for avocados, nuts, and seeds to get the healthy fats with the added fiber and nutrients. Number five is cut refined sugars and flours. So you want to replace the white bread, pasta, and sugary snacks with whole grains and fresh fruit, again, to reduce the insulin spikes. Also pay attention to the liquids that you're drinking. Some people don't understand that, one or two of those Starbucks lattes may be 500, 600 calories. I mean, some crazy stuff goes in these things. I'd wait for my iced tea and I'd be amazed that you'd see lots of syrup going in, and then they add in some whipped cream and all this stuff, and I'm mind-blowing. So monitor what's going in your mouth as far as drinks too. And number six is stay active and manage stress. So pair your plant-based diet with regular exercise, including strength training and cardio. Practice mindfulness to lower your cortisol levels. So I hope you found that helpful. There was a lot there to cover, and it's a really important topic because that visceral fat it's worse than the subcutaneous fat that we're dealing with just under the skin for fat storage for when you need it. That visceral fat is deadly, increases inflammation, heart disease, all of that, like I mentioned before. So paying attention to what you're doing is so, so important. So if you haven't started the plant-based diet, like I mentioned before, you might, if you want some help, you can check out the Healing Kitchen. The link is below. We meet every single week on Wednesdays. And Brittany Drudy, who started the Drudy family YouTube channel, she comes up with 2 amazing recipes every week and cooks. And then I answer all medical questions. We record them and we put them in our community. We have a community where you can talk to us 24/7. Well, maybe I'm not awake 24/7, but you put your question, I'll see it. Those are places you can connect with others in a safe place where you really feel at home with your plant-based diet. So if you're really walking this alone or struggling and with the plant-based diet, or you're really wanting to start and not sure where to go, or maybe you've been on the plant-based diet a long time, you're just looking for a wonderful community, this is a great place to be. We also do monthly workshops and go deep dive on certain topics. So definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. And again, that price will be going up next month, so I'd encourage you to check it out now if you're interested. Next is that we also just launched our Plant-Based 101, The Ultimate Guide to Mastering the Plant-Based Diet. You know, other books that I've seen, they focus either on one particular disease or they talk about, oh, do the lifestyle, eat more plants, move your body, all the things we know to do. But nobody really talks about the plant-based diet in particular, like how to really master it. And this is coming from a doctor and from someone who lost 70 pounds herself, not myself, but Brittany. So, and a doctor who's seen thousands of plant-based people. We come in and really give you the beginning, lay down the foundation steps to really feel good on a plant-based diet. And then we give you some additional resources if you want to go a little bit deeper. And so it's really, really important that you understand that everybody will benefit by bringing more plants to their plate, but sometimes you need a little help, and that is where the expertise comes in between myself and Brittany. And so we put out the book. Again, we're hoping to put out additional books next year, more disease specific, so definitely want to be on the lookout for that. So if you want to be the first to know, check out again. You can also go to drmarks.com. You can join my newsletter. Got all sorts of resources. Subscribe to this channel. Again, all those things will be highlighted here. So as always, I'm so appreciative of you for being here, and hope to see you tomorrow, and have a beautiful rest of your day. As always, sending gratitude, joy, and love your way. And thank you for being here. I'm truly honored that you are.